Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by Paul Hall, we've got Righteous Force in there, not anymore, Sleeping Warrior, Chocolate Sane, and 10th Man in G+, together with a whole bunch of people in Discord. So welcome one and all.
Thank you, Nathan. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yo.
Hello. Any signs of a physical Earth curve edge labelled in their model as the horizon?
I heard it's not relevant visually.
Just sipping a drink. That was ray tracing.
I heard you could think of it as real, but it's not real.
Go on, is it just Murray? Just Mercy? Can't quite see
It's just Mercy, yeah. I heard from a couple sources that, it's something you can think of as real, but it's not real. And we can think of it as real, though.
Right on. What about any signs of any Earth curvature?
I've traveled the world. I've never seen it.
And the seven seas.
I'll let you cover the seven seas.
Everybody's looking for something.
It's still no curvature.
Any signs of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
Nada.
No, sir.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
What's gravity?
I don't know.
I think Mercy
scientific
said
evidence
it.
would
If you
help
think of
clarify
it-
that.
Yeah, Mercy just said if you can think of it, it might be real, but you have to think of it.
Oh yeah, it's a bit like atmospheric pressure. That's different. That's got a definition that you can picture in your mind. It makes sense. Doesn't mean it exists in the real world. They've got definitions for words and evidences that don't even exist.
Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
No.
Any signs of a molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
No.
Any evidence that you can have gas pressure without a container?
Absolutely no.
Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
Over there.
What about the R value? Earth radius? Any evidence of that?
No.
Aha.
Nah, not even
Far
a
be
little
dead.
bit. Well, actually, I was told yesterday by Chris MCM that it's okay to assume R. So I guess that's okay, right?
Not really. The R value would give you
No.
a physical geometric Earth curve edge for a horizon. So to assume that you have one when everyone else is denying exactly that wouldn't be
But you
reasonable.
could assume it if you never expect to see the geometrical horizon.
Yeah,
Why would you expect to see something like that?
yeah, they're currently all telling us about how, they can draw an imaginary line to a tangent point.
I'm hungry too, man.
Go on,
I
chocolate.
am too.
Oh, it's your background noise. I thought I was having a half a conversation with your
Sorry.
background noise.
I'm sorry. I thought I muted. My bad.
It's okay. Yeah, they definitely need a physical geometric Earth curve edge for a horizon. That's what R gives them. Now, currently, they're all denying having an actual visible geometric horizon. But you've only got to hold a ball in front of your face to know that if it's geometric, you'll see it. That's the horizon that you'd see over a ball. That would be its geometric horizon. And if Earth is the same as the ball, then it would also have a geometric horizon. We just don't see it according to them. They can definitely draw straight lines to it in their model, and they can definitely identify it in their model, and it's the only horizon in their model. It's just not the one we see. We'll never experience it, but they'll definitely be able to extract straight lines from bent geometry when doing this. Of course.
Well, it's pretty clear, Nathan, that once the black swan showed up and destroyed this geometric R of theirs, I mean, their horizon of theirs, that if we look back at our previous arguments, they were insisting on Earth-based Coriolis, but there isn't any, so that was an assumption. They were telling us gravity, but it's not a force, but you can think of it as a force. Then it's a curved atmosphere when gases go in all directions, so that's an assumption. And now we find out that the geometric horizon is an assumption. They never had anything because there is no geometric horizon. And everything the ballers have is pseudoscience and assumptions.
Yeah, imaginary places. You can draw imaginary tangent lines to. Yeah, all of these ideas only exist in the model. None of them exist in reality. And if you ask them to point out where a geometric horizon is in reality, they'll tell you, oh no, we'd never experience one unless we sucked out all the atmosphere. They'll simultaneously tell you how much that physical obstruction is blocking an island in the distance, based on its physicality and geometry. It's great. Fun times for flat earthers.
Great times.
The
Oh, somebody's at
geometric
my front
curve
door.
is there.
You hold
just
the fort,
can't
Arwin.
see it.
I'm going to put you in charge for 2 minutes, Arwin.
Ah, right. Yeah, I just wanted to say the geometric curve is there, but you can't see it though. But it does block things. You figure that one out.
No, that's baller logic, and that makes no sense.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, makes no sense. Perfect for their model. That makes no sense.
Yes.
You got to be more precise, Arvin. It blocks things from the bottom up.
Yeah, I guess.
But you can't see it.
Yeah, you can't see it. It's there though, and it blocks things.
And you've never seen it, and you shouldn't expect to see it. Even though we have a calculator that calculates to it.
Right.
What
But
is it
under the
calculating to? Not sure, because you've never seen it, but
and let me double down on that. So you can see it. It does block things, right? But under the right refractive circumstances, you can see the horizon so close that it may correlate with what the geometric curve would be if you would be able to see it. There you go.
Well put.
any ballers in Discord want to tell us where their geometric horizon is?
Space Poper Baller. Got 50 in there as well.
They just need to come, so to speak, out of their Narnia closet and just say, you know what? It's all been pretend. And we fell for it.
Yeah, I'd like to know where the geometric horizon is, and why can't we see it? Oh, because we have an atmosphere? Is that why we see it? You don't see it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when was it measured?
Few endless arguments about the Isle of Man and how much the physical geometry Earth curve edge obstruction is blocking the bottom of the Isle of Man, and how much they qualify, how much that physical Earth curve obstruction called the horizon that is geometric in their model has blocked, in feet and inches, the bottom of the Isle of Man. But of course we can never see it unless there's no atmosphere. I will wave my hand. And there's also 35 feet missing off this boat based on how much physical geometric Earth curve obstruction is blocking the bottom of it. Here it is in my maths. But we don't see it.
Yep.
Yeah, the reason I was a bit late with the pre-shows because AB Science did a reply doubling down on basically everything he said, along with a whole load of ad hominems. So I thought I'll take that apart. So I spent a few minutes editing that. So I'll release it after this.
AB Science doesn't know what scientific method is. He thinks that he can calculate shit and bring it into existence just by maths. It's a bit like a lot of ballers when they describe things and then they become a real thing until you remind them that unicorns are defined and described. Doesn't make them true though, does it? You can describe a unicorn all day. You can tell us how tall it is. You can tell us how fast it runs. You can tell us how big the spike is in between its eyes. But you can't demonstrate that one exists. That's a problem if you're going to try relying on any kind of mathematics or dictionary definitions for things that we say don't actually exist. Just because they're defined, it doesn't mean they exist, guys.
What was his explanation for the black swan?
That the horizon's refracted.
Oh, well then, AB Science, welcome to Flat Earth.
Yeah, he's doubled down though, and he's basically said the geometric horizon that I'll base my measurements on, that's an imaginary line. So I just went straight to the National Geographic definition of geometric horizon. It makes it quite explicitly clear that it's the visible horizon. It also includes any topography and things like trees and buildings. They would be included in the geometric horizon. Now, we all know that at a base level here on Flat Earth Debate, because obviously when we're qualifying how much of a building is missing in the distance based on how much is blocked by physical earth curve obstruction when they go to their mathematics of how many feet and inches will be based and disappearing because it's behind a physical geometric earth curve obstruction, when they do that, that's utilising the R value that also gives them the refraction value. Now, his explanation for this is no. The geometric horizon's an imaginary line. No, it's not. We only have one horizon. The geometric horizon in your model is absolutely supposed to be visible and supposed to be blocking boats. The fact that it isn't in your black swan means you now decry the idea of having a geometric horizon, claiming we'd only see it if the atmosphere was removed. You need to explain this to all the people who've told us how many feet and inches are missing based on the geometric obstruction. Because if you don't understand that AB Science, you're a complete retard. Now I'm going to take your words, reorder them, edit them heavily to embarrass you. Because you've made it plain in your video that we don't see and do not have a geometric horizon. Now let me make this plain, and I'll slow it down for you. In your Earth model, AB Science, you have a geometric horizon. It's marked with an X, labelled horizon, and claimed to be blocking boats in the distance. It's claimed to lob off certain values of islands in the distance, and you can qualify how much the obstruction is blocking things because we see it with feet and inches of how much is obstructed. So claiming that it's not a visible location, just an imaginary line you'll draw in a model, simply tells us that we don't have a geometric horizon, as you disclaim. So I'll play out your video, peppered with you making it clear that we don't have a geometric horizon, something that is absolutely necessitated by your religious belief in a geometric earth curve model. He also disclaimed that he wasn't really talking about the geometric horizon, he was talking about optics. While he showed a side-on view with two horizons and talked about the geometric horizon. But nevertheless, apparently he was just talking about optics, even though his model's geometric. And the claimed to be optical portion, i.e. the refractive values, aren't based on optics, they're based on geometry. So if you were talking about optics, AB Science, you clearly didn't appreciate that your model's geometric, and your refraction's geometric. And your geometric refraction and geometric model have an R value giving you a geometric horizon, defined by National Geographic, the subject matter expert on this particular aspect of this conversation, is the visible apparent location where the sky meets the ground, including buildings and trees. So not what we'd have if it was a smooth surface, your completely made up definition that he pulled out of his arse for his audience. No, National Geographic define it as visible, as opposed to an imaginary line you'll draw in a model. And we will not see. We're supposed to see it, it's supposed to be blocking buildings. We don't see it because it doesn't exist beyond the line you'll draw in your model. We don't have a geometric horizon, as admitted by AB Science. That will be repeated at least 20 or 30 times in the video that I edited. His half-an-hour boring bullshit response and his appeal to consensus in the form of his commenters didn't do very much for me. It gave me a good laugh once I edited with him repeatedly saying that we don't see a geometric horizon throughout the video, then I'm sure you'll enjoy that too.
So he's not aware that National Geographic describes geometric horizon as the visible horizon?
No, he didn't put a definition on screen. He just pulled it out of his arse, quite literally.
Because that would be a little weird for all these guys saying you can't see the geometric horizon, but then National Geographic says it's the visible horizon.
It just means that AB Science is, what's the word? Retarded. Stupid. Thinks that a horizon in a model marked with an X labelled horizon isn't a horizon because it's invisible. That's stupid. They don't understand their own model. They don't understand how stupid and how far their grave's being dug when they tell us we can't see something that's supposed to block buildings and islands and boats. We don't see it unless there's no atmosphere. What the fuck is blocking the boats then, you complete retards? Oh, what, that'd be the geometric horizon that you now all deny? Yeah, you need that, don't you? Saying it's just an imaginary line doesn't mean that the model doesn't have one, or that it's marked with an X, or labelled horizon, and we all know what a horizon is. According to National Geographic, a subject matter expert in your heliocentric religion, it's the visible position that we see, not some imaginary line you'll draw in some bullshit model. We're supposed to see it, we just don't. And even you admit that we don't, because you know we don't. Even though your model requires one, and we should see it, and it's defined as being visible. You'll pull out a definition of an invisible line that we don't see to square this circle, won't you, AB? Well, yeah, we'll all have a good laugh. I didn't need to say many words, just used your own. You pointing out we don't have a geometric horizon. Your model requires one, though.
Maybe it would help if they would go back to their old arguments and try to remember that they used to call the geometric horizon the curvature. But now they're saying we don't see the curvature.
Yeah, it just exists in the model only.
It's a bit of a problem.
That's what I was
Maybe
trying to
science.
get. That's what I was trying to get Rumpus to say yesterday, but Nathan hogged the mic for the whole show.
Oh,
Shout
my
out to
bad.
Nathan.
Sorry, what are you trying to get him to say?
I was trying to get him to say, because he'd said in chat, the reason why I'd poked him and created some space in Discord was to get him in, because he told 10th Man how stupid he was, because boats going over the horizon proves curvature. And I wanted to ask him, the minute he admitted that it was a refracted horizon, I wanted to ask him to address why specifically does he think boats are going over it when it looks flat because of refraction. Oh, well, if it's a refracted horizon that's flat, then boats can't be going over it. And that's what I wanted to get him to say, but we didn't get there, unfortunately, because Nathan's a mic hog.
Ooh, get your handbag.
No.
Well, wait a minute. Whose show is this?
No, don't be like that.
I'm only
Anthony's a
moaning
very
because I wanted
valued
to
guest.
take-
I'm sorry, Anthony. I'm very sorry.
You've got to understand that when someone joins, right, we're in a position now where there's a queue of people, like on Airplane, where that woman starts getting hysterical. There's a queue of people queuing up to beat her with a bat or with a gun. Do you remember the scene?
Yeah, I'd be the guy with the monkey wrench.
Now.
There's a guy with boxing gloves on.
What a visual.
That is a little true though.
No, I get it. You're all
Well-
queuing up to beat the crap out of him because he's essentially double speaking left and right and making concessions that are amusing and want to be held to task there and then. And, you know, I'm just arguing with my point, which is fair enough.
Yeah, it's literally the hysterical passenger on Airplane, and there's like a queue of 5 people all lined up ready to beat hell out of them, and Nathan's just there, like doing the Mike Tyson thing in the corner where it's continuously punching and punching and punching, and we're all like, "Can I ever go, please?"
Shout out to Cleary. AB Science is AB normal. I think that's abnormal.
Oh,
right?
that's really good. Well done, Cleary. I like that.
Oh,
Abnormal.
Abnormal.
Well, so we don't lose the last point you made, Nathan. Remember the statement from the Association of American Geographers. We should embrace the fiction in our science because understanding what we can measure and what we cannot is a very important step to understanding the world around us scientifically.
Yeah.
Embrace the fiction in our science. Isn't that adorable?
And then they put measure. So then when you ask them about the geometric horizon, all of a sudden it's not there. It never was.
So we've got to embrace the fiction of imagining drawing a tangent to a position they call the geometric horizon. So as long as we can tolerate that fiction, then we can trust in R and have a geometric horizon until they tell us that we never see a geometric horizon. and used this word apparent over and over again in the face of me pointing out to AB Science that his use of apparent is redundant. He literally concedes and says, yeah, you got me there. Yeah, from now on I'll just call it the horizon. And then in the next breath explains how he's differentiating between apparent and geometric. So I'll say it for AB Science now. I didn't say it on the video because I tried to use as minimal words as possible. Nevertheless, we only have one horizon. All horizons by definition are geometric. No, that would be incorrect, wouldn't it? They're all apparent. So a geometric horizon is apparent. It's apparent based on height. Now, not all horizons are geometric, even though all horizons are apparent. So your geometric horizon, which is also apparent, only appears and only exists in your geometric model. We don't see a geometric horizon, even though it's claimed to block boats and buildings and islands in the distance, like this picture on screen now. The geometric horizon is also claimed to block the bottom of these turbines, and be mathematically qualified for just how much it's blocking them. Nevertheless, according to AB Science and many of the fundies who have experienced the bit of a problem that is the black swan, have now started to claim that we never see a geometric horizon and could only see a geometric horizon if the sky vacuum known as outer space actually sucked out all the air we were breathing. Then we'd experience it, even though many multitudes, masses of people have told us just how much it's blocking stuff in the distance. But we don't see it. Just understand that. And we don't understand also, by the way. String of ad homs about how I don't understand, while he double speaks his way around us not having a geometric horizon, it being in the model marked with an X, him drawing an imaginary line to a position that doesn't exist and violates the definition by National Geographic. A whole cluster screw from these morons. And also quite a lot of telling insecurities, him making his declarations about being a scientist. Clearly got a bit of an inferiority complex, solved only by declaration of his qualifications constantly. A bit like Wolfie, needs to tell people all the time he's a pilot. Needs to tell people he's a scientist, and then babble on for half an hour about maths.
AB Science. I don't know who you are really and where you've been, but there are thousands of hours of debates where these clowns on your side have asserted to us that the geometric horizon, aka the curvature, was a physical obstruction.
Yeah, so does he. So does he in both videos. In the first and the second, he uses a white swan of the exact same oil rigs, and without any explanation whatsoever, just declares that that proves that the Earth's a sphere. Now, to elaborate on what he's saying, in this example of a white swan, we've got a physical geometric Earth curve edge blocking the bottom of the oil platforms. So without explanation, he's quite happy to just declare it. This matches my model, therefore proves Earth's a sphere. The black swan, however, well, no, then it's not a real horizon anymore. Then it's an imaginary line. Then everything's refracted. And I'll just do imaginary geometry with my refracted bent lines. But apparently this is us not understanding and us being stupid and not understanding logic. No, it's us understanding and fully appreciating, as you disclaim, that we don't have a geometric horizon. But yet the horizon on screen right now has had 12 months of argumentation, specifically about how much that line on screen is blocking the bottom of the Isle of Man. And the values in feet and inches for just how much it's blocking it. So this isn't a geometric horizon. We wouldn't see this unless there was atmosphere. For all the people who came here, that would be Ruhif, Rumpus, Chris MCM, who's that complete moron, Dawn. All of these people who've come here, they've all told us, with the maths, for the geometry, how much this line is blocking the bottom of this island with its physicality and geometry. But according to AB Science, fundies like Dawn, Rumpus, Chris MCM, Ruhif, morons basically, all you morons are being told by AB Science, we never see this unless there's no atmosphere. It's very, very difficult to do maths. Not impossible, even though you've got an actual model that shows you just how much maths and obstruction there'll be with the physical geometric horizon in that model. But according to him, it's very difficult. Now, I'd like AB Science to get together with all the muppets who came here telling us about physical geometric Earth curve obstruction at the Isle of Man, that we'd never see it. My bad, unless it matches on a given day. Then we definitely see it. Then it's not an imaginary line, then it's geometric, according to these double-speaking fundies, who don't really understand the argument at all. AB Science is definitely one of them. He's disclaiming that we don't see a geometric horizon when it's required by the model. How thick is that guy? Calls himself a scientist, he's a retard.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with this, like Mr. Sensible and this guy, AB Science, AB Suitable Science, I guess should be his name. But I don't know. Maybe you guys need to catch up, stay up to date with the flat Earth debate, because your horizon isn't physical anymore, as per you guys.
Why?
So
Why is
I don't know.
everything? Sorry, Doctor.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
Why is everything that's required by the model can't be proven or seen?
Because you can think about it like it's been proven and seen.
Precisely. So let me read the preamble to that Association of American Geographers. Big bold print, fictitious geography. Just let's sit on that for a minute. Fictitious geography. Now, who would ever go to any kind of university and study fictitious geography?
That
would.
reminds me of another
would.
word that these guys used to use to describe things that aren't really the things that they're describing.
Apparent
Like
forces.
pseudo.
I see a hand. Arwen said he would.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Would you like to expand, Arwen?
Yes, well, I'm a dungeon master and I kind of have to build my own world, so it would be very useful to understand what comes into play when you're building a fictional geography. Yes.
Okay, so you're saying within a game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, now, do you hang your jacket on a unicorn coat hanger too when you walk in your house, or what?
No.
Okay, just checking. All right, fictitious geography. Like there's a course in school called "Let's Study Not Real Geography." In any case, let me read on. In science and also in mapping, we are concerned with nonfiction generally in our work. Well, that's nice to know, right? But then they say, but all too often we lose sight of the fact that much of our nonfiction is built upon abstraction and arbitrarily agreed upon convention. What make you of that?
Sounds like we base a lot of our bullshit on bullshit. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. So they evoke science, they evoke mapping, and then they say that they got there in normal cases with nonfiction. Like, if you're going to build a building, you got to have the right parameters and all that. But then they say, but all too often, we lose sight of the fact that much of our nonfiction, meaning the things that work, is built upon abstraction and arbitrarily agreed upon convention. Well, like what? So then they say key values, for instance, which is made up anyway, so that's okay. With that in mind today, I will share some words from the glossary to help us remember that right there, here it is, in our nonfiction research is our own fiction that we like to call abstraction and assumption.
10th man, I've got a question about that. What is it again?
American Association of Geographers.
No, the type of class. What was it again? Fictional geography, right?
Yeah, well,
so would that fall under the category of thought experimental sciences?
Yeah, I would think so. Abstraction and assumption. Well, you can fit a lot of things there, right?
Just remove the word experimental and sciences, Arwen, and say that again.
Thought experimental sciences.
Just get rid of the word experimental and sciences. What are you left with?
No, but it is a thought experiment.
A thought experiment.
Yeah, thought experimental sciences.
A thought.
A thought.
Yeah,
Just
with a
thought.
stripe in between thought and experimental. Thought experimental scientist.
Yeah, there's no experiment if you're just doing it in your head. So it's just a thought.
Thought assumptions.
I don't know. I kind of like the designation.
Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm experimenting with Claudia Schiffer right now. Don't interrupt.
Yeah. Does Paula know about that?
Well,
Doesn't
at least you
need
have a
to.
model.
It's just a thought.
Oh, okay.
My pun went unnoticed.
What was your pun?
I said, at least you're working with a model.
Yes, supermodel.
Good one.
That was good.
The whole thing is made up.
Where the
They got
ball is to
nothing.
tell us about their fictional geometry, man? I want to know. Where are they? What's going on? Where is your geometrical horizon? Where is the geometry on this ball that you think we live on?
I think
Why are
Ron
you
is
not
trying
in
to
here
explain.
destroying us and telling us where the hell it is? Oh, because you've already destroyed your own model and said you can't see it, never seen it. Come
Shout
on,
out,
guys.
shout out
This
to
is
James
getting
Richard.
silly at this point.
Shout out to James Richard. He said, Globies side with government tyrants. They love their masters of the universe. They will do anything to keep their godless fantasy. Yeah, I agree. They'll defend it. We were talking about this the other day, James Richard, on account of the fact that somebody recently did a video exposing how much e-begging had been done on the Globe side of the argument. And the premise from their side, I'm not saying I fully agree with this guy's rationale, but nevertheless, the way he positioned it was to say that they're all being scammed, that, you know, they're all having this money ripped out of them. That's the Globe side and their followers. Now, I would suggest that that's because they seem, to the outside observer, more gullible. They're fighting for their own cognitive dissonance. They're fighting for their own confirmation bias. Now, no one, scammers are going to look at that and go, well, if I just give this person what they're precisely looking for, a bit of confirmation bias, they'll give me whatever I want. Preferably money. And they do. So, bear that in mind when you're demonstrating just how gullible you are in the face of our challenges and rebuttals to your Globe argument. People are going to notice. And they are. Notice that you're gullible. Notice that you're stupid. Notice that you're looking for confirmation bias rather than truth. And that's going to leave you exploitable. Us hyper-skeptics on the flat earth side, not really so much. We're far more inquisitive and ask a lot more questions, rather than doing a cursory Google search and looking for confirmation bias, or cheerleading for somebody who says something that you like and matches your model, or calls us crackheads, as AB Science did. Well, not us, me specifically.
Check, check, check. Can you hear me?
Hey, hey, hey.
Mike, check.
Hey, how's it going?
Very well.
Yeah.
What up, Mike?
I just got a small 10-minute break right now. I just wanted to share with you guys something. I watched the perspective video that you edited. I really appreciate that. That was really nice of you to do that and take out all the boring bits that were in there. Something else that people were talking about this week was, you remember the example that you gave where you have a bunch of bricks stacked on top of each other, and these bricks are far away from us, like say 5 miles away. And you mentioned that you asked the question, are we going to be able to see the bottom of these bricks? And the answer is no, right? But what people were saying was that if those bricks are getting smaller in angular size, wouldn't they all uniformly get smaller? Like, it wouldn't just be the base that gets smaller on its own. It would be
You
all
got the
of
order
bricks,
wrong.
wouldn't it be?
Yeah, you got the order wrong.
The
The way I preface this is specific to the order I describe it in. So I say you take a brick and you put it 3 feet away from you. In other words, very close. And it's a brick, right? You can see it's nice and clear. But then I lead the person who's in the conversation with me, so I'll do that with you now, Babs. So can you see the brick at 3 feet or 3 meters? We'll use feet. 3 feet.
Yes, I can.
Can you see the brick at half a mile?
Half a mile, probably not, no.
Okay. So you would say at half a mile, the brick's gone. It's too small.
It's too small, yeah.
What about a mile? Still gone? Still too small?
Yeah.
So a brick at a mile is too small to see. Now, if I pile
Correct.
on another million bricks on top of that brick, it doesn't change the angular resolution of that brick. It's still too small to see. Now, the fact that you've increased the size of the things on top of that brick so that they have an angular size that is big enough to see doesn't alter the fact that the bottom of the building, the brick that disappeared in the first place, has vanished. So let's say it's a line of bricks at a mile, and you lay them all out, one line of bricks from left to right, for the foundation. You can't see them. Doesn't matter how big you make the foundation on the horizontal, the angular resolution across the vertical over the deck that you're looking limits the angle to below the angular resolution you can resolve with your eye. So you can't see them. Well, the building that's built on top increases the angular resolution to the rest of the building. It doesn't suddenly mean the brick at the bottom is going to be visible.
Right. Yeah, I get it now. That makes a lot of sense. If we think of it in terms of one brick rather than a building that's made up of a million bricks, the angular size is obviously going to be larger for the larger object, the building that's made up of a million bricks. So it's no longer just one brick that we're looking at. We're looking at a larger structure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Sure. If it was a side-on presentation, you've got the observer on the left and the brick on the right. And if it's right in front of you, then you draw a fairly wide angle to the top and the bottom of the brick. And then as you push the page further and further to the right and increase the distance so that the brick is on the right, the angle to that brick is going to get narrower and narrower and narrower and narrower till it reaches the point where it's so narrow you can't see it. Well, that angle remains that size. You can draw that line to the top of the brick and draw the line to the bottom of the brick over the deck that you're looking over and just draw it in pencil so it remains permanent to those bricks. And you can calculate the angular resolution of that brick at that distance and say it's too small. Now, when you pile on a load of stuff on top of it, the angle to the rest of it is still too big, but the pencil line that you draw in orthographic view, with a line to the top of it and a line to the bottom, is still the same size, and still too small to resolve, regardless of what's on top of it. That's how you get bottom-up obstruction.
Yeah. Yeah, excellent. Thanks for clarifying that for me. I got to get back to work, but it was nice talking to you guys.
I put a crap load of work into that, actually, Babs, because it was such a good presentation, and it's just not your fault that, obviously, you've got people giving you... I know he's not here, and I'm talking to myself, by the way, I know he's disappeared. It's not your fault that you have got to get people to put the slides up and then wait for you to see them in the live stream and so on and so forth. So I just hacked all of that out, and because of the gaps, each time you've sort of re-summarised your point before you've moved on to the next, because there's been a gap, which is brilliant for the live show, but not at all ideal for a presentation. So I, like I say, spent a long time hacking that down to make it really concise and point, and then move on. So that's that video is called The Hijacking of Perspective. And the bit I'm talking about is only the first 10 minutes of the video. It's a 45-minute video, but that presentation only literally takes up 10 minutes. I might even cut that out on its own. I certainly did it for the Blue Marble response. I might as well do the actual presentation. That makes more sense, actually. So yeah, check it out. The Hijacking of Perspective. Just says hijacking perspective on the thumbnail.
It seemed like something akin to this pushed coronavirus nonsense has affected the Globers to come on this show. I think it's a bird type of a thing, something with a black swan. You think?
Yeah, it's swan flu.
Is it swan flu? I was trying to figure it out.
The swan flu. It's the black swan flu, actually.
Yep. They got.
Well, a good dose of reality might help them.
Symptoms include never seeing your geometric horizon, not being able to see your geometric horizon due to atmosphere. Your geometric horizon is a straw man. Bendy crane refraction. So see your doctor if you're suffering from these symptoms of black swan flu.
Excellent.
Wow.
Excellent, Chocolate. Excellent. One of your best.
I bet the red pill philosophy is going to be all over this one.
That was good.
It was in the comments of yesterday's video with the rumpus, and making note of obviously the most crucial details you can think of it as being real, things like that. Shout out to Rakia Life, my favourite daytime drama, As the World Turns. What do you think? Indoctrination? Rakia Life. Thanks, Dave. Really appreciate your support. As the World Turns? Indoctrination? No, just your average Joe talking in the vernacular he's been trained to.
Can I add to that, to Rakia?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, they found out that that's a lie, so now they're all in the general hospital.
They've all been admitted to ER.
So they found out they have one life to live.
Nice one, Chocolate. I was waiting for another one.
Anyway.
Anyway, as the world turns.
Oh, I guess, Nathan, they don't have the soap opera there called General Hospital, do they?
No.
Okay.
They had the greatest soap opera, though. Benny Hill.
Yeah, but don't.
I used to love the Benny Hill show, though.
Hang on, but Benny's being refracted from the other side of the hill.
That's funny too, because at the beginning of the Benny Hill show, they used to have the what do you guys call it? The Thames River or something, and it would come up refracting like a mirage. I remember that shit when I was a kid. Shout out to Benny Hill.
So what do we
That's
do with
the
all these
friend's house
ballers now
from
that
on
they
the other
don't
side of the
realise that
hill
they're
that
dead? It's a
Nathan
bit
always
like
uses.
it's a bit like that kid out of what was the kid that's I See Dead People? What was he called?
That was the Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense, yeah. The kid doesn't realise that he's dead, but neither does Bruce Willis. All the Globers are walking around not realising that they're dead. And
It's
we're
not
all
dead.
going, you morons are not even real guys. And they just still think they live on a ball. They won't come in and talk. They'll go into their little circle jerk. They'll talk about how their model can model out the moon phases and all that. And I'm all right saying I don't know how the moon phases work. But I just know you can't have gas pressure next to a vacuum without a container. And we know that gravity is not a force to explain it. And we know that their model doesn't work because of it. But they can still calculate it with their model. And therefore that makes it true. And I'm like, what? Ridiculous, guys. Come on.
Notice what you said there, Anthony. Their model had to put reality into actuality in some cases, how to explain sunsets, moon phases, all these different things. But then when we require their model to be real with the geometric horizon that's measurable from the R value, all of a sudden it falls apart.
Did you hear, I'm going to butcher his name. Is it Bitsit? Bitwitsit? I can't remember his name, but he had a hangout with Kosho.
Witsit gets
and
it.
Kosho said that the Black Swan argument, the modus tollens formulation, is inaccurate.
Witsit gets it.
Witsit. Kosho said that the formulation of the Black Swan argument is incorrect. So Witsit says, what do you mean? And he says, well, if the Earth has a radius of 3959, then all horizons must be 1.2 miles away from an observed height of 1 feet, or whatever it is. The P bit he's all right with. It's the Q bit that's the problem, he says, because the Q bit says then all horizons must be no further than whatever. He said, but we don't say that. We say that the Black Swan part of it, not all swans are black, and the fact that he says that not all swans are white, and the fact that you found a black swan doesn't mean the white swan doesn't exist. We actually say that all swans are many different colors: red, blue, green, yellow, and he's indicating the refraction element. So he's saying that just because you say that all swans are white, it doesn't mean that's our position. Our position is that all swans have got all different colors, because the horizon is a variable distance away, and it's not a set distance because
it is in their model. Yeah, it is.
Oh, really?
It is in their model. It's based on radius, marked with an X, labelled horizon, fixed, geometric. As soon as you start arguing that it's not, then you're debunking your own model. It's absolutely required by the model. R gives you your geometric horizon. Your refraction's based on R. So you need that, idiots.
I agree.
He's not talking about the geometric horizon. He's talking about the apparent horizon.
Hold on, Chocolate. Hold on. Got a triggered fundy. Go ahead.
You're conflating terms here, Nathan. He's not talking that example. You're conflating the geometric horizon with the apparent horizon.
We've only got one horizon. Hold on, let's address that.
What are you talking about?
Let's just address that. Number one. I'll speak nice and slow for you. Not unorthodox. Number one. We only have one horizon. That's number one. Number 2. All horizons, by definition, are apparent. It is, by definition, the apparent position where the sky meets the ground, or the position where the sky appears to meet the ground. It is not the apparent position where the sky meets the ground, because that would be an apparent horizon. Apparent's redundant. It's not a useful tool for you to have a second horizon, because refer to point 1, we only have one horizon. Now, the horizon in your model is geometric. The horizon in reality is not.
Who makes you the arbiter of what words we can create and what definitions, what things can mean? Why do you get to say that we can't have a geometric horizon and we can't have an apparent horizon? Why can't we do that?
Because it's fucking obvious. On screen now, one horizon. It's obvious to anybody with a set of eyeballs that we only have one position where the sky meets the ground. The sky can't meet the ground in two positions. Are you retarded? Do you think there's two positions where the sky appears to meet... Excuse me! Shut up! Do you think, because you're retarded...
Why don't you shut up?
Do you think, because you are... Shut him up and mute him. Got to mute him, audience, because he's talking through me. While I ask him, because he said I'm the arbiter of whether or not there's one position. It's on screen now, you retard. One position where the sky appears to meet the ground. And I'm asking you a question and you're trying to talk through it. Do you, because you are retarded, think that there's actually two positions where the sky appears to meet the ground? Because that violates the definition of horizon, a single position where the sky appears to meet the ground. Not the single apparent position where the sky appears to meet the ground. There's just a lot of redundancy in your nonsense to give you two when we only have one. My question I will repeat. Do you think there are two positions? Do you think, because you are retarded, that there are two positions on screen where the sky appears to meet the ground?
Well, we live in a three-dimensional world, so there's definitely more than one position that this...
No, on screen now, you complete retard. No, anybody with eyeballs who's not retarded will appreciate on screen right now one position where the sky appears to meet the ground, not two. Are you really this stupid? We only have one horizon. It seems clear that you didn't listen to my first point. We only have one horizon.
Can I finish?
Why are you talking?
Let me finish my point.
Why are you talking? Why are you talking?
Let me finish my point.
I'll do what I damn well please. This is my show. You have asserted we've got two horizons. We don't. It's on screen, you stupid idiot.
Nathan, I spoke for 20 seconds.
Oh, you crap. You said we have more than one and asked why I was the arbiter of why there's only one. It's on screen.
Nathan, we don't live in a one-dimensional world. There's multiple points where the sky is meeting the ground there. Are you really going to state that?
Sorry, I asked you if you are stupid enough to assert that we have two positions where the sky appears to meet the ground, and you've told us about the world we live in. You don't seem to be answering my question, Unorthodox, just moaning about your treatment. I'll ask for a fourth time. Are you so retarded as to assert that there are two positions where the sky appears to meet the ground, given that on screen now, and for anybody with eyeballs, there is only one, and that is the definition of a singular horizon? Are you so stupid to still assert that there's two? Because there isn't.
Nathan, I'm on Discord, so you had to post it in Discord.
I don't give a crap. Any horizon, ever. There's only one. I don't need to post it. Anybody with eyeballs, any picture of the horizon ever. There's not two.
Nathan, that's like a flat surface. There's multiple points along that surface. It's not.
Yo, moron. On screen now, being highlighted with my mouse for the audience. The singular one horizon. The apparent position where the sky meets the ground. There is only one. There is not two. You have asserted that there is two and then moaned about your treatment here. So, I'll ask for a fifth time. Are you so stupid, 3D world boy, to assert that in the 3D world we live in, that there's two horizons? There isn't! You dumb? Are you done, you stupid retard? There is only one. I'm not the arbiter of what people can see. You can see there's only one. To assert there's two is stupid. Why are you talking through me, you unbelievable prick. Why? There is only one horizon. You're yet to answer my question. You've asserted that I'm the arbiter of there being one. It's on screen, and for anybody with eyeballs ever, there's only one. Why would you be so stupid as to say there are two, based on me being the arbiter of being one? There is only one to anybody with eyeballs and any picture of the horizon ever.
Well, Nathan, there's a difference between physicality and optics.
And?
So the horizon we see would only be optics then?
Not geometric then, not physical, not like your geometric model asserts physicality then.
it-
I'm responding to you and you're talking through me. It seems unorthodox. Shall I moan about your treatment of me on my own show? No, I don't think so. I'll just make my point. So you're asserting that there's a difference between physical, geometric, and optical, when our argument on the flat earth side is that we are dealing with optics, and your argument on the globe side is that you're dealing with physical geometry. But you're now saying that there's a difference between that and optics. Welcome to flat earth.
Nathan, those
Welcome,
are our
Orthodox.
terms. You stole those from globe earthers. Those are
I stole them, what? The optics that aren't in your geometric mathematics that deals with physical geometric earth curve edges labelled as a horizon with an X in the model that's geometric and dealing with a physical sphere you claim we stand on. That's not optics, that's physicality, mate. I don't know why you're claiming we've stolen something from you when your model doesn't use optics, it uses geometry. It uses physicality and asserts we have a physical earth curve edge while he talks through me. Constant muting from the fundy side, it seems. Maybe I will get a moan about the treatment he's receiving while I point out that his model is not optical, it's geometric.
Nathan, why are those mutually exclusive? Why can't it be a combination of geometry and optics?
I don't know, maybe you'd like to ask the people who came up with the geometric non-optical model why it doesn't include optics. Oh, I know, because they've taken the effect of perspective and called it earth curve by removing all aspects of optics and calling it geometry!
What? We came up with refraction, Nathan. That's a globe earth thing.
Oh, sorry, you think that 7/6 based on the R value?
I say that.
Sorry, you think that 7/6 based on the R value, the radius value, you think that that's refraction? That's not refraction. That's called very specifically terrestrial refraction and is based on physical geometry at the R value. It's 7/6R. So I don't know where you're getting this crazy idea that a geometric 7/6R value, that would be mathematics, has anything to do with optics. It only applies in your geometric model. So no, it's not optics. We haven't stolen optics from you. You have stolen optics and called them geometry in a mathematical equation that doesn't account for optics and only accounts for physicality. But yet you're asking me about optics in a picture that has only one horizon, and I've asked you 6 times why you would assert there's 2, when I know the answer. You've got a geometric horizon in your model, the one in reality isn't that. So you need 2, we only have 1.
Well, I mean, we use the geometric horizon for all sorts.
What geometric horizon? You haven't got one. What geometric horizon? The one in your model, the second one? Yeah, what geometric horizon? That's not reality, moron. That's optics. Yeah? Optics aren't geometric horizons, moron. You're babbling on about optics in the pictures we're looking at and telling me about how you're going to take geometric consideration of your geometric physical model when we're dealing with optics. No, we don't have a geometric horizon. We don't need to concern ourselves with what a geometric horizon's doing. We don't have one!
Can I get through more than one sentence without being interrupted?
No, you can do what I tell you to do. You're on my show and you'll obey my rules whether you like it or not. Or you can do what Sean Hawkins does and demand that I come and meet you on a territory where you can rumpus the living shit out of every single word I say as I demolish your religion. On this platform, I will say what I'm going to say, regardless of your concern for your treatment on my show. If you don't like it, you can piss right off, like Sean Hawkins does. You can go in the chat and moan about how you get muted. Muted while you're talking through me and I'm explaining that you've got 2 horizons. One's geometric in your model, doesn't exist in reality, and one is in reality non-geometric optical and isn't the one in your model. Doesn't mean we've got 2, it means you've got a horizon that isn't the horizon in reality.
Not that you just say you could use the geometric horizon. How can you do that if you've never seen it?
They can't.
Has been conceded by your entire side.
They
And
can't.
you've never seen it, that you can't see it due to the fact that we have an atmosphere. So
That's
what
all
are
they
you
do.
using the geometric horizon for?
All
And how
they
did you
do-
even figure it out?
All they do, Chocolate, is tell us for 5 minutes straight how we never see a geometric horizon. And then they'll tell us about how it's working in their model. So we definitely need one, because they babble on about what the geometric horizon does at great length. And tell us about how we've got two. And when I ask them with a picture on screen about where the second one is, they ask me why I'm the arbiter of us only having one horizon. Like, this is my fault that we've only got one horizon and it's not geometric. Yeah? Well, that's not my fault that you haven't got a geometric horizon in reality and your model has. That doesn't mean we've got two either. Doesn't mean that I'm going to listen to you moan and bitch while I point that out.
Yeah, but Nathan, there's apparently a difference between optics and physicality.
Yeah. He's here to tell us about how we're dealing with optics. No, you're not. Your geometric model, even when you claim optics and say the word refraction, that's not refraction in your model, though. It's 7/6 of the radius value giving you a geometric horizon that doesn't exist. So bleat and moan about treatment. I'll make it perfectly clear that we don't have a geometric horizon. I don't even need to do that. Got AB Science making it perfectly plain to all you fundy morons. We don't have a geometric horizon. There's definitely one in your model. You definitely require it for your refraction that you'll call optics at 7/6 of the R value giving you a geometric horizon. So you require one, we just don't have one. Maybe you'd like to tell us how the Black Swan argument's dead, because that'll cheer us all up.
Yeah, unorthodox. You might want to confirm with Kosho, because Kosho the other day said that the geometric horizon is a physical place that you don't expect to see. And also Chris MCM told me yesterday that the geometric horizon is a straw man and that we've never seen it. So what's the problem here, unorthodox?
Yep, they'll spend a long time telling us just how we never see it with a hand wave, even though their geometric maths tells us that you see it and tells us how much it'll be blocking things in the distance and gives you an exact feet and inches measurement for just how much it'll block, by virtue of how much you can see it blocking things. But we don't see a geometric horizon. With that, I'll say if you are watching this on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you are watching this live on Nathan Oakley 1980, this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. Once again, stay tuned if you're watching on the premiering stream, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!